So on today's episode, we're going to be highlighting a few tips on how to throw a spectacular, amazing wedding
in Zim,
right here in Zimbabwe. So the first tip is setting up a budget. I know it might not be the most fun part of the process, but you have to consider when throwing a wedding, you have to sit down and come up with a budget. You might end up falling in love with the beautiful dress, the venue, the vendor, and then realize that you're totally out of range. So my advice is sit down with your parents, relatives, or any other potential contributors. So setting up an estimated figure of the number of guests you're gonna have at your wedding is really important, especially in the early stages. Let's face it, guys, a 300 crowd is different from a 50 people crowd, right? This will clash in terms of catering and, the venue. So you need to sit down and fix a round figure that's appropriate.
So the second step is getting inspired. You can get inspired by your friends and family on how the wedding is supposed to feel, supposed to look, maybe relaxed or a formal vibe.
The choice is yours, hey? And you can get a few ideas from social media networks like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. You can even consult Uncle Google.
Well, the fourth one is narrow down the date. You can't officially just set up a date without a perfect venue, but I recommend you getting a date first, then a venue later on. You need to look at your dates, maybe on summer, weekends, and then take a look at the calendar, maybe a family conflict, work, schedules, holidays, and etc. etc. Having potential dates in mind will help you with the venue selection process. So the fifth part is the venue. Now you have the budget, the guest list, and the potential few dates. You can now able to set up or book a wedding venue. Before you book your venue, you need to review or check the wedding venues that are near you. You should go with your partner and see if your partner and yourself agree on the venue.
The sixth step is creating a website for the wedding, aka a wedding hashtag. Setting up a wedding website is the easiest way to keep your guests in the loop and one of the most important things when planning a wedding. So make sure you include all the information like the location, travel information, colors and themes, and many other essentials up until your wedding day.
The seventh part is to book vendors. This is the time that you need to get your caterers, the DJs, the MCs, and one of the best, don't forget, the best. You need to plan these things in order to get the pros in the business.
Tip number 8 is purchasing the attire. Give yourself plenty of time to look for the perfect outfit for your wedding day. Particularly when it comes to wedding dresses, it may take months and time from the day you purchase it up until it's properly tailored.
You may be thinking a lot on how to plan your wedding. Don't forget your honeymoon, that's the best part. Maybe you're flying, you need to look at the best things such as the accommodation, traveling setup, and the schedule. Don't wait until the last minute.
So tip number 10 is attending those pre-wedding events. And these pre-wedding events include engagement parties, bachelorette parties, bachelor parties, showers, and more. And at this point in time, your schedule is jam-packed. But then you just have to make time in your calendar to attend these events as a guest of honor. And these parties are planned by Anatete, Sekuru, families, relatives, and you just have to make time. Whilst attending these pre-wedding parties, you need to be sending out your wedding invitations on time. This is very important, especially when planning your big day. You need to send your RSVPs on time. The last tip is confirming your wedding details. You have been in close contact with your vendors in the days and weeks leading up until your big day. Make sure you have tied up all loose ends with your vendors. And make sure they have all the information they need, and they also have to be paid properly. They'll make sure your wedding vendors know when and where to be present at the right place and time. Thank you for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe to Zim Afro TV.
Do not forget.
Do not, I won't forget.
Do not forget.
I'm already subscribed. Until next time, people, I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Trish.
And we're out of here.